Peace, love, and light, friends of the earth. This is me, Aria. We are back, another interesting episode. It's been a while, a lot's been going on. I have been dealing with, like mind chatter. And so today we're going to be talking about mind chatter and how to quiet your mind so you can better live with spirit and you can get messages from spirit. You can increase your psychic abilities and you can just really hone in on your existing psychic abilities. I believe that everyone is psychic anyway, and so I think if you just learn how to quiet your mind and just kind of go with the flow of the universe, then you can be more psychic. My boyfriend's laughing at me because, it's like we've been dealing with that too, and it's like discovering that you are psychic. Your link to source energy, your link to the universe, the ethos, you're connected through your crown chakra as well as your third eye. Your crown chakra is literally source connection. Your third eye allows you to see that connection you have to source. It allows you to see what the universe is telling you. You can always say Om. That's the mantra for the crown chakra. You really feel like you just need to kind of center yourself. You can also say Sham, which is the third eye mantra. It is note A and note B. So you can play those on the piano or whatever musical instrument. My friend has one of those vibra harps, and they're like for chakras, and it sounds awesome whenever she plays it. It just kind of puts me in there, and it helps me to be in a place where I can shut off my mind and listen to spirit, listen to source energy, and be connected to my psychic abilities. Psychic abilities and being intuitive, and everyone's always like, what's the difference? Is there a difference? It's the same thing. In my mind, I always kind of use them interchangeably. Maybe intuitive is more off of feelings. It's like you kind of get around someone, you see their energy, you feel their energy, you say, oh, okay. And it's not even like looking at the physical and making deduction off that, which is like what police officers do and CIA agents and FBI agents. It's more like sort of feeling this energy and seeing it. So if you see somebody and they kind of seem like maybe something's wrong, or they're a little tense, or they're just maybe really happy, you can just kind of feel their energy. You can tune into their auric field, and most of the time you should ask, of course. Sometimes you can't help it. So you can tune into their energy, and that's more of a feeling type of thing. Some people would say feeling is more intuition. Psychic is like, I'm looking at you and I see that, your father died when you were 6 years old because he was an alcoholic. And it's like, how do anyone know that, if they didn't know me? Someone would say that's more psychic. But I think someone who is intuitive could figure that out as well. I think it's interchangeable. So when we're talking about intuition, psychics are very connected with their intuition. Intuitives, of course, are using their intuition and their psychic abilities, I think. And so, the degree of psychic ability is different. We all are different people. We're all different energies, different beings. We all are naturally going to have our own way of sort of tuning into source energy. Some people are clairsentient, which is what I think an intuitive is more. So it's like feeling this energy. You just feel energy, so you just can kind of tap into it. Some people are clairaudient, which is hearing. So you hear voices, or you hear, a message, really. When I do my automatic writing and I channel, of course, I am always hearing the message that's being given to me, and I literally just write it down what I hear, and it's like I can't really stop it at this certain point. I think people can be visual, like you can see visualizations. You can touch someone's hand and close your eyes, and you just kind of feel it. Like you see this vision. Maybe you see a car driving across the ocean, or and so you're like, what does that mean? So it could be maybe like symbolism for, okay, this person is taking a trip somewhere. Or it could just be like maybe this person is going through a crazy emotional state right now too, because water is emotions, driving symbolizes kind of going, turns. It could be anything, so I think maybe that's where your intuition can lie too, is kind of tuning in to your visual that you see. Like sometimes when I'm talking to people or I meet people, like a picture comes in my head, and like one of my exes, like I knew what his girlfriend looked like, and I just saw her, his new girlfriend at the time in my head. It's like, how did I know that? I was tuning into something greater than myself. And so I do believe we can do that. Clairvoyant is when you can visualize and you can see. That's what that's called. So some people can read metal. One of my mentors was very good at that. She would take a ring or something like glasses that would have metal, and she could tell you anything about, you know, yourself. One of my favorite stories she used to tell me was when she was giving readings at a psychic fair, and she touched this woman's ring, okay? And as soon as she touched the ring, she felt this huge blow hit the back of her head. And so she tells the woman what she felt. And the woman, her brother had just died. He had just gotten shot in the head, actually, like 2 days prior to this happening. And so it's kind of like she was tuning into that. And so sometimes you have to figure out symbolically what is the message. And I love that story. I think it's cool. All these things can prove that there's something greater than ourselves. And just really connecting to that source and that energy. It's all you can do. I mean, it's literally like when you hear a message, you should listen to it, you know. Or not say you should, because no one should do anything, but you could listen to it. It would be helpful to do that. Dog is barking. And so, like, basically other types of psychic abilities that people have, automatic writing is one. I do automatic writing, I do channeling. So with that, it's sort of literally turning off the mind. And I think I didn't really understand this concept of turning off your mind until I really started automatic writing and I really started channeling. Like I said, when I started doing automatic writing, I started doing channeling, that's when I started understanding even more about how to turn off your mind. Because when you channel, it's literally an altered state of consciousness. You have to turn off your mind to do it. You are not able to access this information until you can do this, of course. So, you know, a way to turn off your mind, like I said, those mantras are good. Meditation's really good. I have been practicing with creating my own meditations to turn off the mind, because I think so many of us, you know, like, we think too much. We are doubting ourselves. We're questioning what we see. If we get a message from Spirit, we question that, okay? We start rationalizing everything, and rationality is good to a certain degree, you know? I think it's good to be rational. I think it's good to be intuitive. I think it's good to really be a balance of both of those energies. A lot of people that I know, my New Age, you know, I hate when they do that, but that's the perfect way of doing it. My metaphysical friends, I meet a lot of people who are very ungrounded with that energy. They're way too much in spirit, and they forget that they're living in a physical reality, a physical existence. So it's like combining the energy of both. You know, you can't just be like, so, peace and God and everything. You know, you do forget that. You do have to rationalize certain things, and I think you use your rationality or use your mind to piece things together. So why am I logically thinking, or let me rephrase this, why am I intuitively feeling that my friend is depressed? So let me logically think of all the reasons why she might be depressed, okay? It's like a good example of how you combine that energy. And so, you know, I love my boyfriend to death. But, you know, he's been experiencing a lot of things with his psychic abilities. And, you know, he starts talking and the rational mind takes over. And it's just kind of, it's not even frustrating. I just find it to be funny. Because I used to do that a long time ago. I was like, this is nothing to it. And it's kind of funny because it's like, Spirit is showing him anyway, you know. And so you can only rationalize to a certain degree. You will experience these things. But I also think, too, you can train your mind to turn off these things too. So if you're constantly rationalizing, you know, Spirit can keep on showing you this, but it's almost like Spirit's always going to be there too, but it wants to see if you're listening back. So if you don't listen after a while, you might shut off your own ability because you think you cannot do it, you think you are not worthy, you think it doesn't exist, you don't believe it. Whatever rational reason that your mind is telling you that this doesn't exist, that it doesn't apply to you, that you're just not worthy or deserving ultimately. I think it's detrimental in that way. The universe is always there. You're always there. It's always there. Tap into it, okay? And I want to read something that I thought was very appropriate. I kind of found this book. I work at a metaphysical bookstore / food store called The Heritage. and we have a free bin in the back, and there's always cool things that Spirit is showing me. And so we picked up the book recently, and we were reading it, and it was funny because I was just having a conversation with my boyfriend about this, about his psychic abilities, and I just kept on turning to all the right pages in the book that were talking about the mind. And, you know, as I was going to read a passage today, I was actually going to pick out one. I just magically opened a page to something that actually is talking about what we are discussing, which is the mind and turning it off and going with your intuitive self, going with Spirit. So I will read it in a few minutes. We will take a break.